Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this new video. Today we're going to talk about CSS3 pseudo selectors. And what this means, these are just the CSS selectors. They select HTML elements, but only in a certain condition. So you can see, oops, I already spilled something. We have this H1 here, and where's my inspector? And it has an H1. It has a strong in it with CSS3 pseudo selector. And then the text tutorial. So I've started this with a selector, and I will show you right now. The first one we're going to focus. No, that's not. I just read focus. The first thing we're going to cover is duplicate hover. And I just said something in Dutch. This I still don't know what it's called. Okay, I'm back. It's called a colon. I knew that. I forgot it. So you type your element. So we're selecting the strong inside of an H1, and we're saying colon hover. And what this means, that this is applying to the element. This CSS is applying when you hover over it. So it's very simple. We've just set color green. So we're gonna look at our H1, and this is strong. So if we hover over it, it will turn green. So it's very simple as that. We're going to apply it to our navigation bar later in this video. We made last video. In episode 2, we've learned how to make a simple navigation bar with no effects yet. So we're going to apply it to that one later. Let's see. The second one is a focus, and this is just the same as hover. This CSS will apply to our input, and an input is something where you can type, where we can check, or we can do anything with interaction in HTML. So an input. I've got 2 on this page, and the focus is just a default value. I've set input colon focus, and when you focus, this will give it a border of 4 pixels. Solid means it's just a solid border with the color red. We can say dotted or anything like that. Let's try it out. It's left, both of them. So when I focus, you see it's got this border, dotted or solid, with 4 pixels on all sides. So that's easy as that. So focus will only apply when you focus the element. So not when you hover, when you click it and you stay inside of it like this. Like I can type now. And you can kind of see a difference between the two. So this is blue text, and we'll come on that later. First we're going back to the LE, because you see all these colors in it. We're going to cover the number of child. This colon, number of child. Just type this over, and it's like a CSS function, you could say, because it has these symbols. So what this does, this will only select the second UL of second LE in this UL. So the second one will get a color of blue, and you see that worked, like right here. This has a color of blue. The other one we're going to look at is just as easy as the first one. So 2 is very logic. This will get, let's say, odd. So all the odd ones get a, I did it wrong because I typed disk again like this last video. You can't really tell it. I'm trying to zoom in a little bit. Now you can. So the first one is just the disk. Sorry, it's odd. So all the first, the third, the fifth, 7th. So they get a list style type, so it's the symbol in the front of a square. Like you can see, I can put odd or even in here. So even. This will change it up. Let's zoom out a bit so we can just see the page again. And the last thing, or not the last thing, you can do lots of this, but just I'm going to cover is an N, and then this mark, I still don't know what's called in English, and then the number of child you want to start with it. So I chose 3, and I said color red. So this will only apply to the 3 and higher childs. So this will say, like you can see, this is 1, this is 2, and here it starts. I could say 4, and you see that we'll go to the 4th. So 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's that. You could also do some more magic with this, but just look at videos or websites on the internet. This one is kind of interesting. You can give a p element or h element or anything where you put text in. And you could say the class two colons first dash letter. And I've put some style to it, so this will only apply to the first letter of the element. So I've put the lorem ipsum shit in it here. And the first one is font family Tahoma. So you see it has a different font as the rest, you can clearly tell. Then I set font weight bold, so it's bold, it's thicker. Font size 40 pixels and make a lot better. And letter spacing, just don't look at this. Let's just remove it because it's not necessary. And yeah, just I can install the first letter like they do in papers or something like that. And the last thing we're gonna look at from the pseudo selectors, I don't know if this is called a pseudo selector, but it's just to trace an attribute. An attribute is just something like this. So this is our element, and these are our attributes. If you go to the head, this is an attribute. Well, I'm really misspelling it. This is an attribute. Whoa, I can't speak English, but you already noticed. So the orange things, they're all attributes. I want to say it anymore. Just look at the video. So I've set color blue when it matches text. So when type is equal to text, the color will be blue. And like you can see here, this is blue because this is the type with text, the first one. And the second one is a type of email. So we could do something with this. So let's type input. Type is equal to email. And our CSS will be font size 2 pixels. So it will be very small. You can't see it. Let's get larger. So this is things you can do with it, and it's not very hard, but you just need to know what to type. Okay, so now we know that we're going to change the nav a little bit. So first I want to remove the pixels on the nav itself, or the padding, sorry, because I want this padding to be handled by our LEs, and I'll show you in a second why. So now it's really from top to bottom connected with your nav. And when I try to add a pseudo class on this LE, I'm going to show now. So when you hover over it, I want to give it a background of, let's say, RGB A, and I'll tell what it is. So 255, this will make it white. And then you have the fourth value, and this is the opacity, or the alpha, like where the A stands for the alpha. And you can make this 1, and it will just be a solid white background, but you don't really have anything with that because the text is white, so you can't see it. So we'll make it 0.2, and this will make this really soft background, but I still won't really like it because they're not connected. And now we fix this. We gave them a margin of 0 to top and bottom, and left and right 10. We're gonna give it 0 on both sides. We're gonna add a padding of 0 and 10 pixels. So top and bottom is the padding 0. We're just gonna make this 3 pixels, I think. That looks better. So now, when you hover over it, you see it's a little bit better. I want to make this a little bit smaller. No, that's not. Let's just zoom out a bit. So yeah, that looks a little bit better. We need to fix this image, by the way. It doesn't look good. It's way too small. And there's another thing, another CSS property that I'm going to learn. It's called transition. And what this does, this will create a transition between between CSS properties. So it won't go from this instant to that one. We can say background 1 second. And this should slowly come in. This is way too slow. Let's say 0.3. This is one I use mainly. And it's way faster. And it looks pretty cool. So that's that. And I think this will be the video for pseudo selectors. And just adjust our navbar a little bit to it. Next video we're going to add some things to our page, to our website. Don't forget to check the description. The links to what we did this episode will be in there.